So thanks everyone for coming. We are almost at Spring 26. Also, welcome to 2026. This is our first user group session for the year. And today we've got Sudipta to run through the highlights with us. Now, before I go on, our agenda, obviously I've just done the welcome and I'll run through a few upcoming events before we get stuck into it. And hello and welcome from myself, Anne. As Josephine, I'm not sure if she's on the call. And Tanya is still on holiday. So she's on a cruise ship, actually. So she's unable to join us today. And it looks like Josephine wasn't available. So yeah, unfortunately, you're stuck hearing my voice for today, but not for long because Sudipta will be speaking with you guys. Now, before we go on to the talk, we've at World Tour, sorry, next to World Tour, Agentforce World Tour Sydney, there's the community sprint. So I attended this last year and so did Jessie. And they asked if we could just make sure we show you, you know, let you guys know that it's on. So if you're attending World Tour, this is right next to Agentforce World Tour. And it's basically a day when, sorry, it's a thing where we can get experts in Salesforce. Oh my God, I lost my words. Here we go. What happens? So it's you can build solutions for the community, by the community. It's heaps of fun, lots of chance opportunities for networking and learning lots of new things. I attended, as I said, last year, and so did Tanya and Josephine, and we're in here. That's Joe. I can see Josephine in the photo, but I can't see. I think I'm hidden in a tiny little corner. And yeah, so basically, if you work with Salesforce, so you're very welcome, customers, partners. You don't even need to be at a nonprofit to join, because you know you'd probably have experience building, you know, something to do with a solution, a problem that's been raised, and could help with building out the solution. So now it does clash. We've just heard from Jessie that it does clash with the FIA conference in Melbourne, so which is kind of a similar, though, you know, obviously this event is for non-profits, so it's really unfortunate. But if you're in Sydney anyway and going to World Tour, definitely consider going to this. And if you would like any links, I'll post links to the event channel anyway, so you'll be able to, you know, you don't need to do the QR code stuff on here. Now, upcoming community group events. So the marketer group's having, would have had one yesterday, and in next month, we've just got the community sprint and then Agentforce World Tour. The non-profit group, I didn't get a chance to update this slide, but the non-profit groups also posted their next event and also placeholders for a lot of events this year. So yeah, definitely check that out. If you go to that link, you'll be able to see, access all of the user groups and, you know, in Melbourne at least, and click join to be informed of their events. Alrighty, so now what we've been waiting for. So I'll reintroduce Sudipta, who last presented to us at the Winter 25 release back in October 2024. So he's an enterprise technology architect with 18 years of experience, and currently through his company ShreeTech, he's implementing Salesforce and Google Cloud for his customers across the world. And there's some links on our on the event page to his YouTube, so definitely check that out. And also follow him on LinkedIn, because he does, then you'll get updates on whenever he posts some new content. So without further ado, I will pass it on to Sudipta.
Thank you. Thank you again for inviting me to this group. I always feel very lucky to, share my knowledge with the team and get to know from, all you people. Before I start, you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. Okay. So I'll quickly, give my introduction. It's already been given. I'll not spend much time. As you mentioned, like I'm an enterprise cloud architect. I have a very small company through which I'm implementing Salesforce and Google Cloud. And this is my YouTube channel, which is basically kind of my passion to share my knowledge with the bigger audience. So that's where I am. Now going to the today's plan. Today I am going to share what are the new things that are coming from the Salesforce Flow standpoint, what are the new things that are coming from Salesforce Admin, and few of the important enhancement from the Apex. It's not a full list, but these are the list which I think I can cover in next 45 minutes. So there will be more link to that which we can go and figure it out, but these are the key things which I can cover in next 45 minutes. Okay. With that, let's start with the flow feature. One of the cool flow feature that is coming in Spring 26 release is like now we'll be able to make the flow which we can expose to the end user and follow. Wait a minute, I need to admit people as well. There are people waiting in the room. I'll quickly admit all. Okay, admit. Yep. Okay. So after Spring 26 release, what we can do, we can easily, style our Salesforce flow, which can be exposed in our community and all the places. Before Spring 26 release, it was always like, custom CSS, JavaScript, and all these things which we need to write. But now, if we know the branding of our customer, we can implement a lot of the branding in the screen. And quick demo on that is here. It's a screen flow. In the screen flow, now when you put the screen, you have the option. When you go on the screen properties, you'll find an option called style. This is the place where you can put the branding of your customer. You can put the background, you can put the background color. Like as you can see, it's a custom branding I have selected, custom background color. You can choose the radius, you can choose the weight. All the buttons that we have, like the pause button, the finish button, and the previous button, can we increase the screen size? Okay, yeah, sure. Is it better now? I hope it's better. Okay, so what we can do, if we see all the buttons, we can also have the opportunity or the feature to change the styling of the button. As you can see, this is a finish button. I have given the radius of 10 pixel, 2 pixel, and this is very easy. We can just make it like 15, and this is how it will look like. It's very quick and very reactive. Different status of the button, like how it will look like in the default state. We have different states called hover and active. In different states, how the button will look like, that also we can configure from the flow standpoint. So all and this is the same thing you can do for all other buttons. I'm just showing for one button, but the same thing you can do for other buttons as well. So the thing which I want to share, after this Spring 26 release, as an admin, we have more power to make our flow follow the branding of our customer. Previously, we used to probably write an LWC and put all the CSS and everything to make the flow look like our customer. But now we have all the power within our uh, screen flow directly. Okay. It's a very powerful feature. With that, we will move to the next feature.
Sudipta, we had a question on the previous feature. Can you add an image or logo?
Can you, where is the question? I am not seeing the question. Is it, oh, okay. Okay, I got it. The question was, can we add an image or logo? No, not today. I saw we cannot add any image or logo as of now. For that, we still need to rely on our LWC thing. But I saw a post in the community where someone posted the same question. It's an idea. So basically, I can post the link of the idea and we can upvote there. But as of today, it's not available. We cannot add an image or logo here. Okay. With that, let's move to the next feature which I want to discuss is like, we have two very important objects. It's called content document and the content version. These are the very two important object, standard Salesforce object when we are dealing with files. Think of the use case like, someone is trying to upload a file and we need to make sure that certain type of files will not allow. For example, someone is not allowed to upload an exe file, which is a security thread, right? Or a executable JavaScript file, right? So before Spring 26 release, we always need to write the Apex trigger and block those file upload, because it's actually getting loaded in the content document and content version object. But now after Spring 26 release, we don't need to write the Apex trigger anymore. These two objects are available inside flow, and we can write the record trigger flow like we used to write for other object. We can do the same thing here. So all you need to do, you need to go to the new flow, and in the here search for record triggered flow, and it's exactly the similar way where you select the object type content, and these two option will come here. You select that and you can do the same operation which you used to do for the other object. Every time a new content document is created, updated, or deleted, you can take different option, different action within your Salesforce flow. So this is a very powerful feature. By introducing the feature, I think we don't need to write any more trigger until this is a very complex scenario. Most of the standard scenarios can be handled within flow. So flow is becoming powerful. Okay, I'll quickly stop. No more question. Okay. And feel free to pause me or put your question and I'll try to answer. I'm monitoring the chat in the other screen. Okay, with that, let's move to the next one. This is another important feature, which is like when we are creating the flow test, and if there are multiple versions of the flow, how we can assign flow test to the different version. So before Spring 26 release, every time you create a flow test, the flow test is always being assigned to the active version of the flow. But if there are flows version which are inactive, and think like you have a flow version is inactive, but you want to activate the version of that inactive flow because of some reason, right? And if you don't have a flow test available for that version, how you test that? So that is the reason why Salesforce brought this feature. Now you can assign flow test to specific version, and I can quickly show you this feature, which is, for example, here. If I go to the flow test, this is the flow which is called updated renewed field. But if you go to the view and click on, I think somebody is trying to join, admit one guest. Okay. So where is that? Okay. So if you go and click on create your flow test, this is what you'll see here. So normally by default, all the flow versions will come here automatically. But if you want to create a flow test specific to a version of the flow, you have the option to select that version. For example, now whatever the test that I'll write, that test is only applicable to the version 2 of the flow, not the version 1. Okay. Admit. Okay, any question here? More people are joining. Okay, good. Okay, no more questions. So I'll quickly, and I'm going a little fast because I have to cover most of the things and we have a short time, but feel free to pause me and ask question if you need. Next one is a Kanban board. I'm quite sure you guys all seen this feature in LinkedIn, in different YouTube videos and Salesforce videos, but this is a very powerful feature. So I'll quickly show you how it will look like and how we can configure that. So let me show you first how it will look like. So this is how our Kanban flow will look like. Basically displaying all the data in a Kanban board. As of today, this feature is only showing the data. So all the data that you see here is a read-only data. You cannot just drag and drop the different elements from one column to another column. That feature is not available as of today, but at least you can show the data in a Kanban board. And I'll show you how we can do that. So I've already built the flow. Basically, this is a this is a get record components where I'm fetching all the opportunities from my org, and I'm doing any no condition, just fetching all the all the opportunities. Now in the screen flow, when you in the search component, when you search for Kanban, under input, you'll find this option. You basically drag and drop it here on the screen. And here you can configure everything. The first thing that you can configure is like from where the data will come from. So in my scenario, the data is coming from the previous get element where I'm fetching all the opportunities. Next, once this is done, in the configure column, I can configure how my columns will look like. So here you can see my columns are based on the stage name. And here the header style can be of two things. One is simple, one is path. This is how the simple will look like. If you select path, this is how it will look like. It's more like the opportunity, opportunity record. We see that section. This is how it will look like. I'll come this to later. Let's see the card. So these are the individual cards inside the column. You can configure the card. So as you can see here, I've configured the card. So this is the name. Amount, you can select amount. These are the created date. So, and you can add more items here if you want. It's very easy, like add field here and choose item, for example, close date, right? Or created by ID. And it will come here immediately. This is called the footer, where you can select what you want to show in the footer of the card. So for example, here I've selected close date. Now, this is how you can configure the card. The good thing is that on the column where you have configured the column, you can show the second level of grouping in the column. You remember, like you used to do the same thing for the report. The same thing now we can do in the Kanban. So inside the column, the second group level is happening based on the lead source, like web, phone, and query. And then you can show a summary field as well. So it will show the summary field based on the amount, but you can select, other thing also here, expected revenue, amount. So all the fields that will be available will be showing here. And then that value will come here automatically. For web, I have 0. For phone inquiry, I have 0. But this is the way how you get the Kanban view of your data, and you can present that to your end users. So this is a very powerful feature. The only thing that we need to keep in mind, the feature is currently in a read-only mode. So we cannot, do like normally in the Jira board, we used to drag and drop the, cards from one column to another column. That feature is not available today. But again, there's an idea open where someone from the community posted, like, why can't we have the interactivity inside the Kanban board? I'm quite sure Salesforce will bring that in future, but it's a good start. Okay, I'll take a quick pause and see we already have the Kanban view in the list view, right? Yes, we have that. We have the Kanban view in the list, but it's all about like, bringing that view in the flow level. So when you are using a screen flow, how you can bring the data in the screen flow. So that's what the Kanban component is all about. Thank you. Okay, with that, another thing that came up in Spring 26 release, now we can add messages inside screen flow, and we can decide what type of message that we want to display in the screen flow. So I'll quickly show here. Let's say this is the flow that I will refer. And here, if you type message, under display, you'll find this option which will come automatically. Drag and drop here, and then you will choose what type of message you want to display. If it's an info, then this is how it will look like. You can put your content like hello world, that will come here. If you want the message to be a kind of a warning message, then you select warning, and the color will change automatically. If it is a success message, then green, and this. If it is a critical message, then this. So think from that standpoint point of view, you are creating a screen flow, and your end user is doing some operation inside the screen flow. And based on the operation, you want to show some message, kind of a pop-up message to give your end user some kind of feedback, like, okay, your action is correct, it's a success, your action is not correct, or some sort of error message, warning message. How you can do that? Previously we used to write LWCs or aura component, but right now it's all out of the box message, which you need to drag, and you need to configure your message here. Message, again, you can use your custom label. That way the message can be, you can change the message without updating the flow, and you can use multiple language feature as well. Multiple yeah.
Sudipta, we've got a question in the chat regarding the Kanban view. Can you select an opportunity in the Kanban view and use that information in the rest of the flow?
No. That's what I was telling. Yeah, it's a good question, Natasha. So that's what I'm telling. The Kanban view is a Kanban, whatever you'll show, it's mainly on a read-only mode. You have no interactivity. It's not like a data table where you have the check boxes, you select some, opportunity or something. It's totally a view-only mode. You cannot do any edit. You cannot select any opportunity. It's just displaying the data.
And I have a question about this message component. Can you use a text element? Sorry, I've forgotten what it's called. Like a formula or something like that as the message content, so that it's a bit dynamic.
Yeah,
yeah, you can use those resources.
You have the resources, so you can use the formula.
Cool.
For sure. Yes.
Awesome.
You can use. So based on, like, if you have the ID or something, record ID, you can use that and create your own formula. So it's very powerful. It might look like a very simple one, but it's very powerful, I believe. Okay, with that, so this one, okay. Another one is very important thing is, like, and this is a problem we always face, right? When in a big organization or a big project, we have multiple versions of the flow. And it's very difficult to understand what is the difference between one version to another version. We normally used to fetch the metadata and do a compare to figure it out what are the differences. But this Spring 26 release is giving you the option where from the UI, from your setup, you can easily see the differences. And I'm going to show you that. For that, you need to go to the automation app here. And under that, when you go to the flow, let's select a flow where let's take this flow. And as you can see, this flow has two versions, version 2 and version 1. So if I need to know what is the difference between version 1 and version 2, what I can do, I can come here and click on compare versions. A new window will pop up here. Here I'll select the version 1 and version 2 is automatically selected here. And I'll select and click on compare versions. And it will automatically tell me where the changes happened. So it changed, something is being added, something is being removed. And if you click on the view details, it will also tell that what is exactly being removed. So this is something, a very helpful feature, because I face this problem a lot in my project. When flows has a lot of versions, it's very difficult to find out what are the differences between the versions. And basically, to review the flow before it goes up, you can come here and review the differences, make sure differences are correct before you approve the change. So this is a very, very helpful feature, I believe. Okay. No more questions. Okay. Next one is, like, after the Spring 26 release, we have the option when we display the data in the Salesforce, inside the flow data table, we have the option to make a inline edit and sort on the column. So data table was introduced a couple of releases back. I don't remember the exact release when it was introduced, but every release I'm seeing the data table is getting powerful and powerful. So one of the big feature that is being introduced in Spring 26 is, like, now we can do an inline edit and sorting. So I'll quickly show you that. So before I'll do that, I'll quickly run and show how it will look like. So if I run this flow, it's basically showing me all the opportunities here. But if you see here, under the name, I have the pencil icon. So it means I can edit the name of the opportunity. I don't have that option here on the amount. I don't have the option here under the description. So let's check this one, right? Let's check this opportunity name and let's give it a new name, like, new name. Okay, let's check one more opportunity. Let's check this one and give it a new name. So basically all I'm doing a inline editing within the data flow. And now I'll do a confirm. I click on next. And as you see here, my opportunity names are being updated. So you see here, it was a different name, which I made it a new name. And here also I updated the name. So now within the flow, you can update the fields within the data table. And I'll show you how you can do that. So this is a flow. Again, a get elements, which is basically fetching all the opportunities from my org. Screen 2 is basically where I have the data table. In the data table where I am selecting all the columns, name, amount, and the description. This is the new thing that is coming up. So you have these two options, sort column values and edit column values. These two options was not there before. So I have configured name column to have these two feature. If I select the amount, I have not selected these two. That's why in here, you are not seeing the pencil icon. You are not allowing your end user to edit the amount. You are just allowing your end users to edit the name. So now all I'm trying to tell is that now these two options will be available against the column options, where you can select which column you want your end users to do a editing and do the sorting. Okay. Yeah, thanks, Daryl. So compare flow, sorry, it was my mistake. Compare flow was in the previous release, but now it allows the screen flow to be compared in Spring 26. Thanks for correcting me. Okay, so now with this two feature, this is very important, is that whatever being edited, you need to update that inside your flow. If you don't do the update, if you just do this thing, for example, if you just do, let's say, put a updated name and click on confirm, that doesn't mean this value is getting updated at the back end. To do that, you need to fetch whatever is being edited in the data table and do a upsert. So for that, you need to write an update record component. Here you need to select this one, basically from screen 2, which is basically this screen. Then under that, my data table name was all opportunities. And then here we'll find this option, edited rows, first selected rows and selected rows. So all I want to update here is like whatever value that is being updated. So I'll select edited rows. That way, whatever change your end user will do, that will also get reflected or saved inside your Salesforce record. So this portion is very important. If you miss this portion, even though your end user will do the changes on the data table, but that will not get reflected on the Salesforce record. So just keep in mind, you need to perform this update record as well.
Sudipta, I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer this. With that update in the data table, does that work on all field types, like say a lookup, for example? Or is it mainly like just text, number?
I am not sure. I need to check that.
Yeah, no, that's all right. I'll have a bit of a play. I'm so excited about that one. We've also got another question in the chat. So if it was selected rows, the update would be the same for all records, right?
If it was for the selected rows, the update would be the same for the record. Yep, that's correct. Yes. Okay. With that, what is that? Okay. With that, few small announcements that came in the flow. I don't want to spend much time, but now let's say we have where is that? We have let's say the account trigger flow, right? And we want to do a debug. So while doing the debug, we always select the, for which account you want to do the debug or which parameter, like debug parameter, right? And we click on run. So now what will happen, once you select something as a debug, Salesforce will remember that. So I've selected Burlington as my account while doing the debug. So next time when I'll come here, I don't need to select it again. So as long as you are in the same session, same screen, Salesforce will remember whatever you have selected in the last debug session, and you don't need to select that again. Somebody is waiting in the, okay. 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 What else? Flow canvas crawling. This is another important thing. Let's say you have a big flow. Like if you see this flow, it's a very big flow, right? So now we have the option to do the scrolling in both the direction. So we can do a scrolling on up and right, and as the same time we can do a scrolling on right and left. So this is another thing that is coming up. Okay, another thing that is coming up here is that the branching elements, like these are all the branching elements. So you can collapse that branching element. That will make your flow smaller, so that you can focus on a particular branch instead of a bigger gigantic flow where you need to go through everything. You can just collapse and focus on one single branch. Another thing, which is the flow statistics, is basically it is available only for the record triggered flow, not for the screen flow. So for any record triggered flow, you will automatically find an option called total runs, or this one here. Let me close that. Total run. And if you open under this properties, you'll find something called analytics. That will show you how many times your this flow has ran, how many times it was successful, how many times it was failed. So I'll quickly show you. Let me see what this. Okay, so this is the account flow, and let me go to a account record and do a fake update. Edit and fake update. Okay, now if I come and refresh this flow, it's told this flow has ran 3 times. It already ran 2 and now it's showing 3. So now if I click on that and click on analytics, it is telling this flow has ran 3 times and all 3 times it was successful. So that's another thing that is coming up in Spring 26. I'm not sure it was there before or not, but you can easily see that. The only thing which I'm not able to figure it out, we see this option to see more metrics, click open details, but I didn't find out where is that open details. I heard it uses probably the data cloud credits or something, and it's a developer org. I don't have the data cloud credit, but where is this open details? I don't know. If someone know, please share with the team. But that's another important feature. We can get the details here quickly. Okay, so that's my flow updates. Any question? No, that's my flow update. I just published one video on my YouTube channel, and here is a link where I've covered all this as well. You can find the link here. Now let me quickly go to the admin feature. One of the powerful admin feature that is coming to our org is like the error panel. And error panel is something which you can easily enable in your org. For that, you need to go to, hold on a minute, where is that? You need to go to the setup, and then you need to go to, user interface. You'll find this option here. And at the very end, you'll find this option that use error console for error reporting in Lightning experience. Let me zoom it. You'll find this option. The moment you enable that, what will happen, if you go to the gear icon, you'll find this new option called error console. Click on that. Something similar, this will pop up from your right bottom. And here it will show you all the errors. like the customer error, system error, all the errors. I haven't gone to a state where I have seen errors in this screen. Seems like it might probably need data cloud credit or something. I'm not 100% sure, but this is one admin feature that is coming to your org after Spring 26. What else? Okay, now from the permission set, you can allow your end users to delete files. This permission was not there before. It is coming to your org in the profile and permission set after Spring 26. So basically, if you go to the permission set, let me open one of the permission set, close that, and it will be under, if you search here, files, delete Salesforce file, it will be under content, but you will have this option. You will allow users to delete whatever files they can access, they will be able to delete. And this permission is available in profile and permission set. With that, let me go to the next one, which is a custom disclaimer on the exported. Okay, somebody is waiting. Give me 1 minute.
Oh, that's the hand up, actually.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Maybe. Go ahead. Maybe, do you have a question?
Can you hear me? Sorry, I having some issues with my microphone. So with those files deletions, Sudipta, so even if you are not an owner, it will still allow you to do it?
I think so, because I haven't checked that, but it all is telling allow users to delete accessible Salesforce file. So it looks like as long as you can access the file, you should be able to delete that. But
even
again,
if you're not creating it. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. Yeah. That's what I'm telling. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't checked that. But yeah, I'll see, and if I can get the answer, I can post that.
No problem. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Custom disclaimer on the exported report. It's basically kind of an audit or security thing. So if you go to the reports and dashboard, you will find this new option called use custom disclaimer. Basically, it will be visible for you. You can select that and you can put your own custom message here. By doing that, if you go to any report, let's say top opportunities, and try to export the report, it's coming up. At the very end, you will find this message. So this is a message. It's kind of a security audit, whatever you can say. That message you can directly put on your report and dashboard settings. Only thing you need to remember, the message will be same for all the reports, all the dashboard. You can, as of today, you cannot make this report, different for different type of reports. It will be same across the org. Okay. With that, few more announcements. As you guys all know, after Spring 26 release, we are not allowed to create any more connected app. So if you go to the app manager, we used to see the connected app here. That option is gone. Connected app was causing a lot of security concerns, security problem. So the new way to create that functionality is called the new external client app. So there will be no connected app. All you need to do is like create this new client connected app. And if you see the connected app, there is one option called under the connected app. You will find the connected app OAuth usage. If you have any existing connected app in your org, which I'm quite sure you will have in your project, for your customers, this is a place where you can block the total usage of that custom connected app. So you need to go to the connected app OAuth usage. You have the option to block or uninstall that connected app. Other than that, okay, this is another thing. If you're working on Shield is getting its own dedicated space. So under here, if you type with Shield, this is one-stop shop where you'll find all the activities that you can do, starting from data detect, platform application, event monitoring, everything you can perform from this single page. Okay, how much time we have? We have 11 more minutes. Okay, I'll quickly go to the Apex feature. One of the powerful Apex feature that is coming GA in Spring 26 is the Apex cursor. Basically, with the Apex cursor, now you can do it. It's kind of a, I'll not say enhancement. It's another way to handle the bulk data. Couple of advantages here is like, the chunk size, how much data that will fetch with the Apex cursor, that you can configure here. And it will provide a streaming approach to data processing and how the records are fetched in an incremental way. That's what the Apex cursor is all about. There are other features, other advantages of the Apex cursor, but let me open my Visual Studio Code and quickly show you. Not this one. Okay, so if you see here, so this is the implementation of the Apex cursor. It basically implements a queuable interface. This is a constructor where you will initiate the Apex cursor by calling the database.getCursor, and here you will put your query. Then the execution will automatically come to the execute method. Here in the execute method, we have the, from the locator, we can use the get number of records to find out how much record it is trying to process. And then this chunk size is very important. This chunk size is basically, you have the power now to configure how much data you want to fetch. So here I have initially put the chunk size as 20, but if I have less than let's say 30 records or 35 records, right? Then instead of putting the chunk size directly on the fetch, you can figure it out how much data is remaining and fetch only those records. So here you can select that, and under the fetch method you can put your dynamic count. So that way your processing will be under your control, and you can do a streaming processing. So that's one thing that is coming up in, it's actually already there. It's just becoming GA in Spring 26. Another thing is coming up is that now with the native Apex, you can extract the pick list values that is assigned to your record type. So I'll quickly again go back to my Visual Studio Code and open this one. So this function we all know, it's basically from the account object. There is a record type called business account. It's trying to fetch the record type ID and store the record type ID here. But this is the new which is coming up. What this function is doing is a connect API record UI get pick list value record type. This is a new function that is coming up. In this function, you can pass the object name, which is account, and the record type ID. All it will do, it will return you a map. It will return you a collection of all the pick list values that are assigned to this record type. And now you can do your business logic. For example, here I'm just do a for loop where I am trying to fetch all the pick list values for the pick list industry for the record type business account. So now with this small implementation, small 3 lines, you will be able to fetch all the record types that are assigned to a particular, all the pick list values that are assigned to the particular record type. Okay. Run relevant test. This is very, very powerful. And all it is telling is that if you have and we face this problem, we all face this problem, like when you are deploying code to production or deploying code to UAT, all tests run, right? When all tests run, what happens is that it takes a hell lot of time for the deployment to what, right? So now after the Spring 26 release, what Salesforce is giving you the option that while writing the test class, you can tell that this test class is only for this Apex component. So for example, I have account trigger. Account trigger is calling a account handler. An account handler is calling another class, right? Very basic. I'm doing no implementation. But now, while writing the trigger, while writing the test class, I can write this line. I can tell this test class is for this account handler and account trigger. That way, every time I deploy one of this component, and in my deployment command, if I put this new test level, which is called run relevant test, if we do that, then Salesforce will make sure it will run only this test class, not all the test classes. So your deployment cycle will be faster. You will get your CI/CD process will be faster. You will get your feedback from the CI/CD quicker. So you can make, so basically all I'm trying to say, after Spring 26, you can make a test class specific to a particular Apex component, or if you want to make a test class, to run irrespective of any metadata, like a kind of a very important test class, all you can do here is instead of test class, you can write critical equals to true. If you write that, then Salesforce will make sure whatever component that will deploy, Salesforce will always execute this test class. So now we have the power to make our deployment make our deployment faster without compromising the code quality, because we have a new test level called run relevant test. And the last one, I'll take 1 more minute. Last one is basically generating the PDF. Now, from Salesforce, we can easily generate the PDF using Apex. Previously, we need to write that, Visual Force page and then enter the Visual Force page and generate the PDF. Now we don't need to do that. We can use the Apex native function to generate PDF. So basically, we can use this function, blob.pdf, and we can pass our HTML content. We can also pass in which record this content will be attached to, and this will generate the PDF and make the PDF link to that particular record. So these are the couple of things which I would like to share. We just have 4 minutes left. I would like to stop sharing. I'd like to stop my thing and ask if you guys have any more question.
Anyone have any further questions? I think we've been asking throughout the chat.
Yes. And I will share this deck with you so that you can post in the community, and
Wonderful.
And the recording as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that, Sudipta, and thanks for joining us. Some of the Apex stuff went way over my head, but I know for a fact there's a couple of people here who would know what you were going through, talking about on those topics. So very much appreciated.
Thank you so much.
And yes, this release looks very packed with Flow features. Thanks, everybody. I hope you all have a really lovely weekend. I think we don't really have much time for Q&A, but no one seems to have anything else anyway. Yeah, look forward to seeing you all for the next event.
Absolutely. And if you have any question, you have my LinkedIn, just ping me there and I'll be more than happy to help if I can. But again, thank you for inviting me. It's a great opportunity for me to share my knowledge and connect with you all. Wishing you all a very, very happy weekend.